Guardians, your regularly scheduled podcast because I'm terrible at this. I'm
Hello
Will.
there.
Yes, and look who's
I'm back.
back. It's Mike.
I'm back. I'm back. It's been a while. It's been a long, long while.
Yes. So, tell the people what you've been up to.
Well, I'm 2 weeks out from my second kid, so
Woo.
we'll. Yeah, it's been a lot of prep, a lot of getting ready, and making the baby room and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Hopefully again. I want to try to get on back on track eventually. Obviously, it's going to be chaotic for the next month or two probably, but come September, my daughter starts school, and then we'll be kind of settled and ready with the second baby. Since we've done it before, it's not like anything to freak out about. Like, we've done it before, so I kind of know what's in store. We just have to get through it.
Yeah.
But no, it's good. I'm excited. So it's definitely something to look forward to.
Nice. Yeah, so once Mike is back and settled, we're going to actually start recording live games again, which is fun.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a lot of fun. And then I'll edit them down like I did. And
Well, either that or we record them at the house and do the long form ones like we were talking about, too.
yeah, we'll do both.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have both options.
Yeah. Because I've been putting up TTS games. But I have two actually I have to put up. I have not put them up yet.
Okay, what were you playing in those?
Hell A-Force, which we are going to talk about tonight.
Okay.
Because what we're going to do is, I'm going to Nashcon the weekend of August 17th. I'm the only one from Pork Roll Protocol going to Nashcon. I'm flying solo. Have to
Represent
all in New Jersey. So
That's
I'm
right.
trying to bring my A game. So I'm bringing two lists. One for a team tournament, which is going to be on the Friday, and then the main tournament. I may wind up playing one list in both. I may play two different lists. I don't know. But I brought Mike on today. So we're going to look at my list, see what kind of tweaks I can make to the lists.
You brought me home.
I did. I was like, come on, I need you. All right. So, before we get into that, though, you want to talk about what you've been building, what I've been building?
Yeah, so I found out last night that Rob, who have we had Rob on?
Rob has been on, yes.
Yeah, so Rob, I was playing Rob, and I was borrowing his Cosmic Ghost Rider, and we were talking about building it, and I was talking about how much I didn't like that it looked like he was crashing into the ground, and it's just like a weird sculpt choice. So he said, you play Warhammer, and I'm like, yeah, I have a bunch of Warhammer stuff, and he's like, why don't you use one of those flight stands? And I was like, that's perfect. So that's exactly what I did. So now he is elevated and doesn't look like he's crashing into the ground. So
for the audio listeners, he's just flying in the air.
He is just flying in the air, just being a cool bro. And I also got in some of my orders that I made on Father's Day, actually.
Nice.
I there was a sale somewhere, and we're not sponsored, so I'm not going to shout them out right now.
Okay.
But if we do in the future, I will. And wasn't our local, but they had a Father's Day sale, and I picked up Nick Fury Jr.
Yes, Samuel L. Fury.
Yes, Samuel L. Fury. And everybody talks about how the rope guy is a problem. And I don't know how this is going to translate here, but I gave him a bow.
Yeah,
And then I gave him like a little spear kind of thing attached to the rope, so now it looks kind of like a grappling hook.
Nice.
Like a grappling bow
arrow.
thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks better. I think it's a little bit better.
Yeah, all I did to mine was I put a 3D print of Colson on mine.
Yeah, you just added a dude, so it looks better.
Yep.
But yeah, I painted Scourge this week, and I painted Quicksilver. Actually,
Nice.
I got them done. Yeah.
Yeah, I have. What do I do? I was fully painted, and then I got to the point where I'm like, oh, I want to rebuy some models and repaint them. So I'm starting to do that. But I did buy Cosmic Ghost Rider, M'Baku, and Claw. They're all primed and assembled.
Yeah.
I'm gonna repaint my She-Hulk before Nashcon. So
What do you got on the table behind you? What is that?
Oh, over here. Oh,
Yeah, what is that?
This is the D&D section.
Oh, okay. What's the box?
Oh, Marvel Champions.
Okay. I saw Marvel. I couldn't figure out what it was.
Oh, yeah, Marvel Champions. So I'm getting into that a little bit because I wanted to play a card game, but I don't want to get sucked into a TCG like Magic and just start throwing money at that. So this is scratching the itch for me to play a card game.
it seems like everybody was buying some too, right?
Yeah. Because I bought it and we brought it up to Syracuse. We didn't want to play in it, but everybody was kind of talking about buying it, maybe getting together one night and playing it because it's like one to four players. Because you're basically playing against an AI if you play one player, but
Okay.
otherwise it's all four going against one villain, and the villain gets stronger the more players there are.
So my next question is, when are you going to invite me over for D&D?
Listen, if we can get a game going with everybody, I would absolutely have everybody over. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Because I got the whole thing back there. I got terrain I
Yep.
made, stuff I've 3D printed, got all
It looks
kinds of
great.
stuff.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to have everybody over here at some point. I think Art's coming over tomorrow to pick up the box I printed for him. But
I just have carpet and stairs behind me.
nice, I saw a cat walk by too.
Yeah, he's right there. He's out of view.
Nice, but yeah, so that is what we've been up to. I've switched all my paints over to Pro Acryl, because my army painter ones were failing me.
I bought a couple Pro acryl. I did. I can't personally tell the difference, but I don't know. I think the colors are nice. Like, they're definitely more vibrant than Games Workshop stuff. Like, Games Workshop stuff seems like it was made for Warhammer, so it's like very muted or like darker. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like fantasy, like crispness.
Yeah.
So I do like that.
What sold me on the Pro Acryl was honestly the Rival Spidey, because I had bought the base set. I'm like, oh, let me try this out, and I primed them in black, Zenithal, all stuff, and I put the red over it, and even over the black from the primer, the red was still pretty vibrant. So I'm like, wow, this is really good stuff, and it's just gotten better. Like when I did my Malekith in everything's in Pro Acryl since I did Rival Spidey, so
cool.
Yeah, it's been very, very good. So I highly recommend. Please sponsor us.
Yeah, you're yeah, that'd be nice. I will say that your painting abilities have jumped. They've done a nice little jump. I don't know if that's from the Pro Acryl, but your stuff has been looking really good lately.
Well, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I'm getting to the point where I want to repaint stuff. So I have in boxes still not assembled. Well, I assembled Cable and primed him because I redid my Domino, and I have Cyclops and Storm and Miles and Gwen.
Okay.
So I'm going to redo them too. Because especially if we have people that are buying my older models, that funds the newer models.
Yeah, you could definitely sell them.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did this week. I sold 4 of them to one of our local guys, John, part of Pork Roll Protocol, and he and he bought me Marvel's Champion expansion, so that worked out.
Oh, works out.
So yes, we got to get everybody together, but that's not why we're here today. Today we're going to talk about. Let's talk about 2 lists. So. Going to Nashcon, I'm going to be in a team event with 2 other people. So far, it looks like there's 8 different teams. So that'll be fun. I've never done a team tournament before.
Okay, and who's your teammate?
There's two guys. 2 guys I've been talking to on Discord. Yosef, and I forget the other guy's name because he just gave it to me the other day, and I'm terrible at names.
I'm putting you on the spot.
I know. I'm going to look. Hold on. I'm going to look at Discord. Give me a second.
We did not talk about this. So
We didn't. So I apologize. Hold on. Let me go up there. Wait, is that him? Hunter. I should know that. All right. So yeah, Hunter and Yosef. Everybody I've been when I started playing this, everybody I talked to was from like the Midwest area. So I wound up in the House Party Protocol Discord, and then, like, I'm going to meet all those guys when I go out there. So that's going to be fun.
That's awesome.
But the rules for the team tournament is you can't double up characters, but you can share. You can have multiple of the crisis cards and the team tactics cards and all that stuff.
Okay.
So luckily, nobody wanted to use any of the A-Force characters, so I'm using Hellfire, which is my A-Force with Hellfire, and I just treat Emma as a second leader.
Okay.
I ran it at ACO. Overall, I went 4 and 3. So I mean, it was okay, because last ACO I went 1 and 5, so or 1 and 4, so much improved.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this roster. I'm trying to make it more objective focused.
Okay.
So they can like throw down, but I'm trying to do more extract shenanigans with it.
All right. Well, let me take a look. So we're looking at Hellfire first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I like to start with, I see the characters, but let's go to talk about the crises and why you chose them.
Okay. Well, can you do that without talking about the characters?
Yeah, I definitely can.
Okay.
All right. I guess all right. We should start with the characters. You're right. I mean, it's A-Force, right? Like we know who's
Well,
an A-Force,
yes, it's entirely A-Force except Emma. So
right?
it's She-Hulk, Angela, Emma, Gwenpool, Squirrel Girl, Spider-Woman, Black Widow, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., so not regular Black Widow,
Right.
Domino, Black Cat, and Okoye. So we don't have to get into the depth of them yet, but we can jump to Crisis. I just want people to have a framework to start with.
And I just want to ask if you've listened to the podcast with that A-Force player that
Yes, and I've actually
Vincent
talked
was
to him.
doing.
Yeah, Curtis. I've
Oh,
actually
okay.
talked to him too. So he looked at the list. He said, "I like what you're doing there. It's pretty cool." So
No, I just want to because the thing that I like that he pointed out, which was people get very focused on special delivery,
mm-hmm.
and you don't need to build around special delivery, which I've found out firsthand when I tried it. Really gets stuffed by escort to safety type effects
Yes.
because you just lose it, right? It just feels bad.
Yeah, and right now the only flyer I have in the list is Angela,
Yeah.
and I don't plan on playing her with She-Hulk, so I don't even have special delivery in my list.
Yeah, so I do like the fact of bringing back this kind of like turtle
Mm-hmm.
kind of game plan with She-Hulk, and you have like She-Hulk, Okoye. They're bodyguarding each other, they're bodyguarding other people. I like that
Yep.
a lot.
All right. So,
So how do you? I want to know how you convert that into extract play.
okay. So honestly, one of the all stars of this list is Agent Widow.
Okay.
As much maligned as she is, and I'm looking right at you, Mike from Strike Better, because you hate my Agent Widow. But she is fantastic for grabbing the extract, kind of staying in danger, but then if she gets attacked, damage or not, she can parting shot away.
Right.
So she just starts running back, and that's worked out great for me so far.
Okay.
And her unlikely partner is Squirrel Girl,
Okay.
because between the two of them, at ACO I wiped a Juggernaut off the table.
Okay.
Ridiculous combos. I used Inexplicable Demise, which is it scares Art, one of our other poor pro guys. I almost knocked out his Ghost Rider with it. I was literally one die face away.
That's pretty awesome.
But I hit Juggernaut with that, and I gave him Root, Stagger, and Slow.
Mm-hmm.
Followed it up with an army of squirrels to give him Bleed, and then Agent Widow rolled up with two 10-die energy attacks with Widow's Kiss, and
Okay.
just nuked him off the table. Gone.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
Yes.
So that
That's one.
sounds like a lot of attrition to
Yes,
me.
yeah. Well, that's because I got sidetracked. But all right, Angela, she's great for my center lines,
Yeah.
and if Skrulls, which is one of my favorite crises with them, Eyes on the Prize and Angela, she can go grab the opponent's Skrull
Okay.
and run back. Whether she gets pushed or not, she can still move back long.
All right.
Spider Woman is great for getting extracts off of somebody with her
Yeah,
with her
definitely.
spender.
Yep.
Black Cat stealing stuff.
Black Cat's doing Black Cat things. Yes.
And then when all else fails, you just kill them to get the other extracts off.
So I'm curious. Let me take a look here in your tactics cards. So Black Cat, what people like about her from when I've played her a little bit in Avengers, and the thing that people like about her in Avengers is that you can potentially, with advanced R&D, have a first round steal from the midpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Would you sacrifice, let's say, She-Hulk, throw her in the middle, take a couple hits just to charge up Black Hat for the first round, or are we just talking just over the course of the game, Black Hat is going to be stealing stuff?
Yeah, over the course of the game. More like, I can, like, if somebody gets hit, I would absolutely... Her and Squirrel Girl are the first two I funnel power to.
Okay.
So, Black Cat, obviously, for the steal.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl to start funding Tippy Toe.
Yeah. Yes, I agree with that a lot.
Yeah, so those are the first two I funnel power to. Because they're really the only ones that I need to funnel power to. Like, Gwenpool, if I can, I never put an extract on her.
I feel like Spider-Woman spends it pretty good, too.
She does. She's like 3. If I had to rank them, it's Black Cat for the 1, then Squirrel Girl and Spider Woman. Because
Okay.
yeah, you can only do it once per round or once per turn anyway.
Are you taking Black Widow and Spider-Woman at the same time because they both have that interrogate, or are you just staggering them?
Depending on the point value.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on the point value. Because the interrogate has come in handy for the sneaky VPs.
Right, of course.
I love it.
I think that because you have both of them in your list, you should always try to take one.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. There's always at least one in the list.
Yeah.
Most of the time with this list, I've been running Hellfire. Just because when there's a ton of extracts on the board, I'd prefer to go wider.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
If it's more of a brawly fight, I'll go She-Hulk. Like last night, I forced A-Force just because I wanted to play A-Force. And they did okay. Versus
It's good
Wakanda.
to practice different situations.
Exactly. It was a D shape, so it's not the best for A-Force. But the scenario worked out that it was actually still a very close game.
Okay.
But yeah, if we want to look at my crises real quick before we get to tactics cards.
Yes, I do. I do want to look at your crises here because I'm seeing a D secure, which doesn't seem like the one that I would choose, right? Don't you want to like line up a bunch of E's?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like the D's for the healing because sometimes I get a little ballsy and I need to heal somebody.
Okay.
The E's are good, but I don't like playing low points necessarily. Like demons, I hate demons just because too much fire. I don't want my She-Hulk getting incinerated. Although Emma's immune to fire, she's a diamond. But you try to keep her out of diamond form as much as possible.
Okay.
So
what does your 15 look like? Let's see. You can do She-Hulk Okoye, that's 8. Black Cat makes it 11, and then you get a 4 cost.
Yeah, like I could do a She-Hulk
a
4. Yeah. So it's not terrible.
Or a Squirrel Girl. Yeah, that's not terrible, dude. I think you should put in
Gamma?
Gamma. Yeah, I really do. Because it's just very good for She-Hulk, right? It's just not, there's nothing bad about it for She-Hulk. Even like, I don't know, I feel like that's the one you want to be playing her on.
Yeah.
Is an E. So like Montesi, which you already have. And if you don't want to play, listen, I think you still play demons, but if you don't want to play demons, then play
Believe it
Gamma.
or not, 19 is a little bit of an awkward threat for me.
Okay.
So
I think 19 is awkward for a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people plan for 19.
So take out Extremis, you think, and put in Gamma? Because
Yeah,
right now I
mean,
have Extremis, Mutant Madmen, and Sinister are Superpower Scoundrels.
So I like B's. Scoundrels seems fine if you're running
Hellfire.
Emma.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the thing is, against people that play just tall lists, like you're gonna win every time with the Scoundrels, right? Like that's gonna be better for you because you're more flexible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you have enough 3s and stuff to just go wide. So yeah, I'm not the hugest fan of a D for your team.
True.
Just because Emma isn't mobile. You know what I mean? You're what you're doing. You're slowing down your team. I don't think your team has enough mobility.
No, D
you have a bunch
D was in here when I had Wasp in here too, because I had Spider-Woman and Wasp that could like run around and do stuff, and Crystal. So that was kind of a holdover from one of my earlier versions.
Yeah, I think that it's safe to swap out.
Okay. So that is the She-Hulk crisis.
That's what you brought me on for, man.
No, I know, absolutely. Seriously.
I'm gonna grill you. All right, so I'm cool with the secures. I think Mutant Madmen is fine. You have a bunch of tough women here.
The nice thing also is that now I took out Infinity Formula because they didn't want to give them extra power because I was getting extra power, and now I took out the healing.
That's definitely.
Now I took out the healing, so yeah, that's better.
Yeah, because it goes both ways.
All right, so extract time.
Yeah, extracts. I think they're all fine. Yeah. You got fear grips,
Mm-hmm.
you got scrolls, and you have Montesi, which I already talked about. That I think that Montesi is going to be good.
Yeah. So if you could tell, 18 is the preferred threat value.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
You have 3 at 18. Yep. So what do you? What's your ideal 18 then?
um, Angela, Emma, that's 9. Squirrel Girl, 13. Leave me 5. That then Agent Widow and Okoye.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's for the wide one, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
for like a B.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
B shapes because you could have 2 separate fights.
I do think that the game in general revolves around your secure
Mm-hmm.
shapes, not necessarily your extract shapes. Like you could have gamma and then have like a C secure extract, and it's like you're not going to set up necessarily. Like it doesn't matter after turn 1
Yeah,
what the extract shape is.
exactly. Because things just get wild. Which
Yeah.
we'll talk about when we talk about the other list, because that game last night versus Rob was just amazing. It was just manic. All right, so let's look at the tactics.
Yeah.
So we have Stalwart Determination. They say keep your enemies close. Inexplicable Demise. My Hellfire Club. Kick them while they're down. Eyes on the prize. Recalibration Matrix. Mission Objective. Then Sacrifice and Indomitable.
Okay. Yeah, I think that there's a lot of good stuff here. Obviously, Stalwart Determination is like the best card for A-Force,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. It's so good. It's I think I don't know, you play it like turn 2 or turn 3 and then you just try to like leverage that into a win.
Well, here's the thing. Between Stalwart Determination if I'm using A-Force,
Yeah.
Indomitable, and Emma herself, my people aren't moving.
Yeah, no, that's very good.
I did that yesterday versus Mike, and he's like, "Yeah, this is annoying. I can't push, can't throw, can't do anything
Yeah.
with anybody." So yeah, everybody was pretty well locked down. So I love that.
So I do think that if you're going against somebody big that is going to be attacking you, right? Like a Malekith or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. I think you always lock in Squirrel Girl, right? Because you
Yes.
get Tippy Toe,
Yep.
and you can roll Inexplicable Demise with Kick Them on the Down to, try to leverage a whole bunch of status effects.
Yes.
And, I mean, you might get lucky, but I'm not counting on that. I'm more counting on the fact that you're going to get, like, hopefully, at the very least, the Slow and Stagger. The
Yeah.
Root is nice. And then anything past that is just amazing. But if you get, like, 2 or 3 status effects, and then you hit them with the kick them while they're down, you're just rolling a whole bunch of, like, more damage into them.
Yeah, ridiculous dice. I've almost gotten the KO 3 times.
Oh, wow.
On
Okay.
3 different people. I've always come 1 die face away. So it's like, but most of the time I do get at least 2 conditions. But you have to get the crit and a wild to at least start rolling anything.
Yeah. I looking at Squirrel Girl, like Tippy Toe, oof, it's so good against Malekith.
Yeah.
Right? It really just shuts him down.
I mean, it takes a lot of power to do it. You got to get 7 power on her, which is why I funnel power to her and Black Cat.
Yeah, I think you have to. I think
Yeah.
you just jam power the best you can, and don't even spend it on anything else until you can throw it on it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
and the funny thing with Tippy Toe, even if you throw it on like a 3 threat, I had a game where I threw it on Sam,
Yeah.
and it neutered him for the rest of the game.
I mean, it's the same reason why I used to love Defenders, right? Hex is just a great ability, and this is like a super Hex, right?
Yeah, because the crits don't count at all.
Right. You're taking anytime you're adding a face of die as a success, it's super good. So removing one is that much better. Also, it's the same. It's like, the reason why Red Skull 2 is good is because he can count blanks on his punch, right?
Yes.
So it's going to be the same thing if you're fighting against somebody and you're removing a whole face of their die. It's going to neuter them.
Yeah.
Especially it's the one that explodes into more dice, right? Like you're just taking away that whole function of the game for them.
I had a TTS game the other night versus a Cosmic Ghost Rider actually, and my opponent wound up hyper focusing on Squirrel Girl, because she was
Interesting.
just harassing. Because she was rolling crazy blocks. She got
Yeah.
dazed finally. She got KO'd, but she didn't get KO'd because Tippy saves her, so she's still alive on one. So she's still
Mm.
out there being a problem. And he was just like, she's just been terrorizing me the entire game. I gotta get rid of her.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that happens during
Yeah.
games. Sometimes you get focused on, somebody spikes and you're just like, wow, that character's a little bit better than I thought. And it's not necessarily that. It's just that it's their
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's the character's day. It's the reason why you bring somebody like Domino, right? Like,
Yes.
she's only good if you get a couple skulls, but
Mm-hmm.
otherwise, you know what I mean? Actually, I shouldn't say that. She's good anyway. She does it auto-ignite. She's
Yeah.
still fine. But
And people don't get crits against her.
you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If you roll a bunch of crits with her, or you hit a bunch of skulls that you can turn into crits, it feels pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, she's another one that just can blow up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to figure out how much extract play you're doing.
Well,
It
they,
seems
they
like
have fighting. They gotta fight.
I think I mean, I think you're hurting people, and then you're taking their lunch money is what's going on here.
Listen,
I mean, you do have Black Cat, you do have Spider Woman,
Mm-hmm.
so you are stealing some stuff, but I think most of the time you're roughing people up for their lunch money.
Well, sometimes I can't shake fully Weapon X.
Yeah.
I mean, I was stuck with them for what 6 months. I was playing them until like right before ACO.
I mean, you weren't stuck with them. You were just
Well, I meant
choosing
stuck
to
on
play
them.
with them.
I love them.
Yeah.
As
I
it
think
is-
they're still good.
I'm already still looking at Wakanda X, so we'll figure that out later. But overall, tactics cards. Is there any changes you think should be made to the tactics cards?
No, I don't think so. I think that they're all fine. Yeah, I think they're fine. Sacrifice is less good on A-Force than it is into Hellfire,
Mm-hmm.
but you still have a Koye. I don't know. I'm wondering if Sacrifice is just patch up.
Yeah, I've been debating that as well.
Because you jam a lot of power, and like, let's say there's a lot of power on a Koye.
Mm-hmm.
You can bodyguard once or twice, but now she's got like 7 power on her just from like superfluous power gain. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like when you get too much on some people that can't spend it, like Domino's another one too, right? Like she can gain a whole lot of energy,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't roll skulls, she's not really spending it, right?
Sure.
Like after you ignite, you could do her lucky shot, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean it's not super exciting either way. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's like, I might roll
could
patch
be-
up.
I would say that could be advanced R&D.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be advanced R&D. I think the problem is that you still don't.
Because
I
she
don't
help
think
generates 2 power, Angela generates 2 power.
Yeah, but Angela can steal then 2 hammers.
If she could, no, she can't, because she's on a medium base, so she can't grab the home hammer, like without moving.
Yeah, but you could long eyes on the prize, then walk back to the other one, grab that one also.
Ooh, that's true. And
You might be able to do that without eyes on the prize because she has L movement. I have to like.
Yeah, without eyes on the prize, I might have to use eyes on the prize for the back one. Like you,
Because then you could just grab it. Well, you could grab it from the spot with eyes on the prize. You could just put her right in front of it, grab it, move to the other one, grab it, and then place yourself in a good advantage, like behind some kind of cover or something, and then move her, on round 2, and then, destroy somebody with 2 hammers.
That works, yeah. And she doesn't need advanced R&D for that.
No, she would. That's 3 energy is what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But that's what I'm trying to see. What you would use advanced
how
R&D
would that
for?
That wouldn't be 3 energy.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
1
yes, it
to.
would. Yes, it would. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that wouldn't work.
So, I mean, I don't think advanced R&D
No.
adds too much for you, other
The
than
steel for Black Cat.
yeah, but still, you would need to get an additional energy somehow. You would need to have somebody get hit in round 1,
Hmm.
which is I mean, it's reasonable. Somebody's going to get hit round 1, but I don't know if you necessarily
True. All right. So maybe
bank on
I
that.
don't think advanced R&D is a good one.
Because if somebody gets hit twice, then you don't need advanced R&D at all.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So I don't think you have a great advanced R&D play here.
Hmm.
I think that Sacrifice is fine. I think Indomitable is good.
Mm-hmm.
When are you using Indomitable? So you're using it on...
When I don't want to get moved.
Yeah. Oh, She-Hulk's only size 3? That's
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
So she's size 3. Angela, I think, is size 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I guess you don't really need brace. I mean, if you go into like a Magneto, then it's going to kind of suck, right?
Yeah.
Because he's just going to throw garbage at you.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, totally lost on me was the fact that like a good play into Magneto or like teams that are going to throw a lot of shit is just use your throwers and just break. Like throw one into another to just break it.
Yep.
Just get rid of it. Somebody was doing that, and I was like, "Oh man, that's
brilliant."
My brain wasn't ready for that. Yeah. But
yeah. You might be giving Magneto power, but it happens. It's better than getting a size 4 to the face.
Yeah. So I think that, obviously mission objective is pretty good most of the time. You need Hellfire Club. Recal is a great card because if you have a lot of energy on your team, and if you just get spiked real hard, it feels gross. So you could just say, hey, re-roll that. If somebody's going to like one shot one of your characters, just recalc it. You know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. Just recalc. Like if Angela's taken 6 damage in one shot, like that's a recalc all day. I wouldn't use it too much offensively unless you need to get the kill. But because you run kick them when they're down, I feel like you're going to have enough. As long as you play into it, you have like enough status effects, which I think 2 is probably enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're playing like a Spider Woman and Domino, you're going to be like lining up a couple of effects there. And She-Hulk just punches people and they get slow, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah, slow and then stagger on the thunder. So, all right. So we're thinking patch up for Sacrifice though, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a maybe. I think that's totally your call. Whatever you feel comfortable. Again, when you're running the list, if you feel like you can patch somebody up, like if a patch up would be better there. For example, I mean, mostly when I see somebody like Angela, right, like an aggressive 5 threat that like you can maybe, if you don't need to steal something with Black Hat, like you can just run up and give her energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stagger somebody, give her some life back.
Gwenpool's another one that's good for patch up just because she has the damage reduction too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
She's a rock star in these lists. I swear, I love her so much.
Yeah, I think she's super frustrating to play against because it just feels like she has a lot of, I don't know, defensive tools, which are
I've seen her described as the stattiest stat block that ever statted.
Right.
But she's great. Yeah,
I think she just has like a lot of good words on her card, right? Like it's just I don't know. She doesn't seem like there's nothing out there that screams like, oh my god, she's amazing. But when you put all the things in place, it's like, oh wow, she's actually pretty good, right? Like she gets a place 3, she gets -1 damage, she gets a pierce on her builder. Like it's like
she's got a rocket. She got a Bob rocket.
Yeah, she got a Bob rocket. That's correct.
Yeah, I have taken herself out with that rocket many times, but it's also taken out the enemy. So,
all right.
At least it's a dazer, like not to KO her, but like, oh yeah, she does damage herself. Well, I guess she's taking 2 or taking 1 also. We will be revisiting Gwenpool shortly because
she re-rolls dice. It's so annoying.
Yep.
She spends it very well. She's a very good spender of energy.
I just do my best not to put an extract on her because then she loses the teleport.
Yeah, that checks out. I think that you want to keep the place.
Yeah. All right. So I'll think about patch up for Sacrifice. It's really just going to depend. I got a couple weeks still to toy around with that.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty solid list, though.
Thank you. So that's going to be the one for the team tournament. Might be for the main tournament. However, last night I tried out a criminals list. And it turned out to be so much fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it helped that Rob is just fun to play against because like we just have a good like back and forth when we play. Even though
I love playing Rob.
oh yeah,
He's like
ACO champion Rob Reale.
Yep.
Every now and then when I play him though, I just straight up table him. Just
I've done some dirty things to Rob too.
Yeah.
I definitely remember there was during a tournament I robbed him, no pun intended. But I had a Doc Ock with one hammer on him that just went to town. Like, it was just too many wilds. It was like, I felt bad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, this is not, sometimes the dice just dice, you know what I mean? And I diced him real bad one game, and it was just like, okay, shake hands, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
he was like, yeah, go ahead, roll a bunch of hits again, it's fine.
yeah, it was brutal.
So I threw this list together a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't had a chance to try it out yet. So I named it "Go Do a Shadowy Crime, You Imbeciles," because it is a MODOK Shadowlands list.
I do want to point out that I typed in the name, so when we talk about it, I know what it is. But I totally misspelled imbeciles, and it just says I'm Basil's.
Nice. I like that. I like that a little better.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the characters first. Then we'll jump to tactics. Or not tactics. I'm sorry. Crisis.
Yes.
So we have Ulik, MODOK Scientist Supreme, Shadowland Daredevil, Rhino, Gwenpool again, Sabretooth, Punisher, Winter Soldier, Hood, and Bullseye.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the people are in Criminal Syndicate.
And Punisher.
All right. So what are we looking at here? Are we looking at MODOK running the show sometimes, Shadowland Daredevil running the show sometimes?
Yes, but being that I only have one playtest in this one, and I've only used the MODOK leadership, I don't know. All right. The theory behind this is I'm trying to build a pay-to-flip criminals team.
Okay, you want a pay-to-flip criminals team?
Yes.
Okay.
Instead of a kingpin, let's have this potato sit here team.
Okay. What pay-to-flips are we talking about?
We have Sword Base, we have Mutant Madmen, and we have Portals, Spider Portals.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about Spider Portals.
I don't know either.
So I don't. You're not super mobile. Well, I guess Ulik and Gwenpool are mobile.
Yeah,
Rhinos
and Sabretooth's a long mover.
Sabretooth's a long mover. The problem is I've played enough Shadowland Daredevil to know that he is slow.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about him, but he just does not. You think that they gave him pursuit on one of his attacks that he'd be able to move, but he is brutally slow, right? Like, he's never where you want him to be. Although Punisher gets free movement, I guess I take it back. You get, and you can Winter Soldier Hydra tactics. You can do some things. You can move around.
Yeah, but it may not be the best choice. Again, this is a very much version 1 of this list.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my only problem with your decision to go pay-to-flips is that Hood is very bad at pay-to-flips.
Yeah, Hood is one that I don't know if I want to keep in there.
So I know why you have him in here is because he's affiliated, and with Shadowland Daredevil, he's great, right?
Yes, like my 3 threats are made for Shadowland Daredevil.
Yeah, so here's what I propose.
Mm-hmm.
If you win your secures, you play MODOK.
Yes.
If you lose your secures,
go Shadowland.
And they aren't playing pay-to-flips, go Shadowland Daredevil, right? Like, if you hit a Gamma, Shadowland Daredevil. If you hit any of the Bs, like, you know what I mean? Shadowland Daredevil, you know? But if you're dead set on this pay-to-flip, which I think that a lot of people don't feel great about pay-to-flips, so I think that you're already ahead of the game if that's what you're kind of getting ready for. But Hood feels a little bit bad on that, and Shadowland Daredevil feels a little bit bad on that.
So these should be my if I lose priority guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have another suggestion besides Hood that is Criminal Syndicate affiliated?
Let me pull up the whole
And
list
let's
here.
just point out we got 5 4s. So I really shouldn't put in another 4.
Yeah, that checks out. That's fine.
As much as I love my 4s, because there's too many good ones.
Let's see here. Affiliation.
Let's
Should have
see.
done this before. Okay. So
I don't want to put Black Cat in because she doesn't really fit the pay to flip attrition plan.
you could put in Claw.
That's 5 though.
It's not 4.
I have Ulik at my 5 though.
He's got 5 energy defense,
It's
and
true.
you're. Oh well, but you're playing the what you call it, the Mutant Madman also, which he's not better in. I don't know. I don't know anything about Claw. I just
I mean, Mysterio's not good at pay to flips. He would
MODOK
just be
isn't good at pay to flips though. The original MODOK. Well,
yeah.
I guess you wouldn't be playing that one.
Uh,
Mysterio's not good.
Crossbone is slow as shit.
So is a Mega Red.
Actually, I wanted to try to squeeze a Mega Red in there to yank people off of points, but I don't think that's smart.
Yeah, for affiliated, I don't think you're getting too much better
I
here.
mean, my other option was like Domino or Agent Widow. But then we run into non-affiliated because right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 affiliated, but only one affiliated 3 threat, not counting Winter Soldier.
Hmm.
Which I mean, if I drop Hood for another random threat, I mean, what do you think of Taskmaster?
Taskmaster. So here's the thing. I think that he is better with MODOK.
Because I have two options.
But I don't he's okay. He's not bad.
My other option would be unaffiliated.
Right.
It would be X-23
For what?
for either. Because if she gets a wild, she's going to add another success, and she gets a reroll innately. And for Shadowlands, she would get 2 rerolls.
I mean, if you're just talking about wild shenanigans, there's people that have better wild shenanigans, right?
Okay.
You could look into Gambit. A lot of people like Gambit
I
play.
do like Gambit under MODOK.
Yeah. What's Gambit's defenses look like? It's just 3s across the board.
Yeah, which isn't terrible. I mean,
Yeah, it's not bad.
I wouldn't be opposed to Gambit. I did play him. Actually, no, I have played this list one other time. It was against a newer player who hasn't been around a little bit, and Gambit actually did some work.
Okay.
So with the little something extra, he changes a hit to a wild, and the wild would give me another hit. So that would kind of spruce up some stuff there.
Yeah, there's a couple people that get cool stuff off the wilds, right? I was looking into this as well. Like, you can use Violent Steve.
Well, I want to stick to a 3 threat. I want another 4 threat. That's the problem.
Oh, fair enough. Who else has a decent wild
Let's see.
hit?
I mean, Crystal, but not really.
Let me filter by 3 threats instead of trying to look through everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing also. This is scintillating. I mean, we got Moon Knight.
So Moon Knight, Moon Knight is something that I was looking at actually, because it makes his stagger. You only need 2 dice faces out of
Yeah,
4 instead of 3 out of 4.
and he has stealth.
And he has rapid fire, so you could put him technically into Shadowlands Daredevil, and he would fit in a rapid fire type team.
Sure.
I don't think he's a crazy choice.
Okay.
I think that he's an interesting choice.
So I would think Moon Knight, Mystique, I'm kind of iffy on her. Pyro?
Pyro's great also.
Mm-hmm.
Pyro's great also. I mean, he's just a good model in general.
Yeah.
He'll help you on the energy pay to flips. He's just a good model altogether.
I mean, my experience with Pyro is though you can't buy a wild when you roll with Pyro.
I mean, the alternative option too is if you just want to go like Pain is Valkyrie.
Listen, I am scarred from Valkyrie after last night. She just got folded up.
Okay.
Killmonger ate her up. I had her in Hell A-Force. I tried her out last night. She didn't do well.
All right, I think that might be just recency bias, but I think that she's relevant because it's the same thing as if you were to bring Gamora, which is the every time you get a wild, you get a hit, but then you'd get 2 hits, right?
True,
like it would be like you'd swinging a lot more damage. Now you'd run out of dice, but I mean, if you max out your attack every turn, that's not a bad thing.
True. Okay, so Moon Knight, Valkyrie, and Pyro are what we're looking at right now.
Yeah.
And
if you want the Gambit nonsense.
oh, Gambit, yeah. So I'm gonna load them all up in here, and then we're gonna just compare. So we got Gambit selected. We have Moon Knight, Pyro, and Valkyrie. I was thinking Blob, but he's just a potato, and I don't want to deal with him.
Yeah.
So let's take a look here. And we'd be taking out Hood, we're talking about, right? Yeah, take out Hood.
Yeah.
I like that this is like more of a gunline team.
I mean, alternatively, you could play my favorite, which is you could play Green Goblin affiliated and Doc Ock, because Doc Ock would get every wild would also be 2 additional successes.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, but then what 4 would I take out to squeeze Doc Ock in, or and Green Goblin?
I mean, I don't know. You have good choices. I'm a big fan of Sabretooth, so I can't tell you.
Yeah, Sabretooth and or Rhino are MODOK's bodyguards.
Yeah.
Because Sabretooth did nasty things last night.
Yeah, no, Sabretooth's good.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Sabretooth. Just, I'm going to plug in my headset's beeping.
I got you.
I gotta set this up real quick.
Yep.
That's the wrong plug.
No, don't leave, Mike.
What?
No, I was saying don't die on me.
Oh no. It's giving me the warning beeps. So I got like another minute or 2. I'm good.
You. So, looking at this real quick.
Yeah.
I like that we have the gun line. And if we're doing bow staff stuff, I think Moon Knight edges out Gambit.
Okay. Yeah, I do like that because it's a stagger, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, you could do damage, but Moon Knight gets full rerolls already.
Yeah, he does.
Which is super sweet. It feels good, right? Like it does feel good. I like that. Plus, you get his cool little bonus, either move, power, or 2 extra dice, which obviously makes bow staff super good. If you're getting 6 dice full rerolls, and now you only need 2 out of 6 to hit a stagger.
All right, so we're gonna get rid of Valkyrie. We're gonna get rid of Gambit. I think Moon Knight's the winner here because it comes down to Moon Knight and Pyro. Here's
the thing, right? Like, I've played a lot of Luke Cage when I was doing Defenders, and on 5 dice, he needs to hit 2 to stagger, and I've hit it a stupid amount of times, right? Like, I feel like it like he does it too often, and I don't know if that's just my luck or what, but that like I've staggered a lot of people with Luke Cage that felt like I shouldn't have earned that.
Mm.
So I think that if you're doing it with full rerolls on 4 dice and potentially 6 dice, I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Now, the problem...
And he fits into both sides of your team.
That's true. The problem I foresee, maybe not, is all according to plan. None of my 3 threats can contribute to all according to plan.
Okay.
So it'd be up to Bullseye, Gwenpool, Rhino, Shadowland, MODOK, and Ulik.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I get what you're saying. All according to plan, I'm usually using Kingpin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm saving like 1 or 2 energy and then just dumping the rest of Kingpin's energy into it, to be honest with you. That's what I'm used to. Plus, you're running Punisher, right? Like, so there's like, maybe you... I mean, I know all according to plan is good, but realistically, you're like... I don't know, you're dumping Shadowland Daredevil energy into it, right? Because he's just...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically, he's not exciting, right?
True.
Even his spender, like... I mean, maybe does 9 dice, which is good. But I don't know if I've ever gotten it off, necessarily.
There is another option.
Okay.
Because, I mean, I'm trying to make this pay-to-flip focused.
Right.
But if I lose priority and I wind up on a non-pay-to-flip, do I change Daredevil to Kingpin?
I feel like Kingpin is very good. But I mean, here's the thing though. If you're going Kingpin, you're gonna want to convert all of your secures to be Kingpin focused.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. If I lose priority and they pick their secures.
Right. No, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm trying to say to you is that Kingpin is better with your secures than you hedging on not picking your secures. You know what I mean? Like you're like tailoring your list to be like, I'm better when my opponent chooses. You know what I mean?
So maybe I stick to my original plan. It was just
I think you want to focus on your game plan. That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
I mean, there's also the alternative that you just like lean into MODOK and you don't necessarily worry about Shadowland.
That was the other option.
Right? And you just replace Shadowland Daredevil with Green Goblin and Hood with Doc Ock and run well-laid plans and just YOLO pay to flips and have well-laid plans.
And I could have a sneaky Spider Foes.
I mean, I love sneaky Spider Foes. I do. I'm big... I mean, you know me. I like Spider Foes.
I know.
So here's the thing about Spider Foes. I'm just going to throw this out there real quick, right? If you do not have a good, like, F extract...
We haven't even talked about my
eyes
yet.
I know. But, like, eyes on the prize with, like, an F extract, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just saying, like, you're just going to go for the middle one, right?
Sinister Traps.
The Sinister Traps totally shuts down like the turn one. They have priority. They're doing eyes on the prize, right? Like, and then it sets up for you to either bring your eyes on the prize and they have to like play this like cat and mouse game where it's like who's gonna go there 1st, or it just sets you up to like, you know what I mean, to like, all right, so they're gonna send somebody, like they're gonna lose a turn and then you can like, you know, use that to some advantage.
Or, if I had priority and I have a center extract, I was on the prize, get my extract, but I can
turn off one of theirs. Yeah, totally.
Mm.
But now we're talking about a different team.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
not necessarily. Wait, is Sinister Traps? Yeah, that's Spider Foes.
It's Spider Foes only. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not against throwing a sneaky Spider Foes in here.
I mean, I feel like I'm rubbing off on you too much, and I'm just a big Spider Foes fan.
No, because I don't think that's a bad idea at all. Because I do like Green Goblin and Criminals. I think if I could,
I think Green Goblin in MODOK isn't bad.
and if I take out Daredevil, I don't have a reason to keep in Punisher.
Right. And you
So
could keep in Hood.
I can keep in Hood and keep in Moon Knight, or no, keep in Hood and take out Moon Knight.
Yeah, yeah.
Or
Moon
Winter
Knight.
Soldier. Actually, I keep in Moon Knight and take out Winter Soldier. Because he's another one that's in there for Daredevil.
I mean, Winter Soldier's is a good piece.
That's true.
Because Winter Soldier,
He does help make affiliation.
not only that, he's very good in MODOK because it means that your wilds rapid fire.
True. Okay, so he stays.
Yeah, it's
All right.
very important, actually.
Let me take out Daredevil.
When you've played Winter Soldier and you've only rolled wilds, you're like, bittersweet, right?
True,
like
true,
you're like
true.
you roll like 2 wilds and you're like, you're bleeding, and he rolls 2 defense and you're like, oh, and they're like rapid fire and you're like, didn't get it, and then it's just feels bad. But now,
why is Dr. Octopus not Criminal Syndicate?
I don't know, man, because they don't want me to have fun. That's why.
All right.
But he's good in MODOK, and Well Laid Plans is a great card. I don't care who you are. I will play Well Laid Plans pretty heavily.
Okay, so.
All right, let's talk about your extracts.
Wait, hold
right?
on. I got one more question about the characters. Because we've hung out. This list needs more work just because this is the new list. Hellfire I've been using for a little bit.
So who am I taking out?
That's what I'm saying. All right, so right now I took out Shadowlands, I took out Punisher, I put in Green Goblin, I put in Doc Ock.
Okay.
Now, the Moon Knight slot. Because right now, Spider-Foe-wise, we have Green Goblin, Rhino, and Doc Ock.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think Doc Ock fills a similar role to Moon Knight. Right? Moon Knight is kind of like the crossover. Like, so that was like the wild slot, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, he fills that wild slot. I don't think you necessarily need to work on Moon Knight in your head. If you wanted to, what I would say is I would put in another Spider-Foe.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, what about Lizard?
So I would pick Lizard or Kraven.
Because Kraven's both.
Kraven's both. He gets a reroll and some like spicy tech, right? Like putting an extra dice on an opponent, and all your dudes are hitting it, and now they're wilds. Like, you have a more potential to get a wild because you have an extra dice, which like rolls into 2 hits. It like the math works out better.
All right, so Kraven. I think I like Kraven over Lizard in this one.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, so let's just read down who we have, and then we'll jump over to everything else. So we have changed this list almost completely.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, I don't mind this actually. So we got Ulik.
Now you're Spider Basils.
They're still Shadow. Oh yeah. Well, I'll figure out a new name. So we got Ulik, MODOK Scientist Supreme, Green Goblin, Rhino, Gwenpool, Sabretooth, Doc Ock, Winter Soldier, Kraven, and Bullseye.
Yeah, so we took out Hood. That's how it's...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That sounds ugly.
I think it's a reasonable list.
Yeah.
Again, I'm big on Spider-Foes.
I know, and I've actually used them a few times, and I do like them.
I think that Kraven is criminally undervalued, and I've seen him. I've personally, he's been like average for me, but I've seen other people pretty much destroy face, and it's great.
He's also an all according to plan battery. If I use him in criminals.
Yeah, because he doesn't. I mean, you like. Yeah, if you don't need to corner the beast or expert tracker or whatever, he could just fuel that energy. And spear thrust, if you get the Kukri Strike spear thrust combo, right? Like, let's say we're living the dream, and he's getting 7 dice. Now you're like, it's feeding into the MODOK thing. It's nice, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's basically the thing about Spider-Foes is that they all love MODOK or rerolls, because a lot of their stuff, like, Green Goblin's leadership with rolling the opponent stuff. A lot of times, how their like abilities work, you're like, man, I wish I could re-roll my own shit, or
Yeah.
I could get more value out of my own shit rather than re-rolling their stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that MODOK giving extra on that is pretty good.
Okay. All right. I'm sold. All right. So are we talking about extracts or are we going into tactics? Because I think
No,
we
we're
did
talking
secures.
to extracts because the tactics may have to change now.
Sure. All right. So we did our secures. We think our secures are still good, right? Because we're doing. Oh wait, we were talking about D's. This D extra or secure. That's how we got all sidetracked into the characters.
Yeah,
So spider portals. Yay or nay?
I mean, Spider Portals is fine now that you have even more mobility.
Okay.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Cool. All right. So then extracts. We have struggle for the
So
cube.
there is something I want to point out about D secures that is a game plan that I have that I don't know that I don't know if everyone thinks about this,
Mm-hmm.
but how I focus on Ds is I center deploy my whole team usually
Okay.
to some degree, right? I might stagger them a bit on the outsides, but what I do is I see where the opponent lines up their people to be on the Ds,
Mm-hmm.
and wherever the more threat value is, I just go the other way with all my models.
Okay.
So I like overload one side
Yeah.
because what I like to do is I will because you only need like one person to be on the point. So I'll like send 3 people to fight one person,
Mm-hmm.
and the one of mine will sit on the point. The other 2 will help daze that person, hopefully, and then they'll be like usually ranged attackers, and I'll try to like also start attacking their far D point,
Okay.
and then they're like stuck on this other point because they still have to like score points. I don't know. It's like a food for thought thing that I you know what I mean. I because D's are just B's that have tilted. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd rather fight on like this angle than try to take 3 at a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That works. That checks. Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know. That's how I play.
All right. So we're gonna stick with that. So let's do the extracts.
Yeah.
So we got struggle for the cube, hammers, and mutant extremists. Senators.
So senators, I don't know how I feel about senators.
Listen, senators. There was a lot of senators on the ground last night.
Yeah.
So
I trust you.
no, I know.
Senators just scares me because
It is scary.
it's great because a lot of people are playing tall.
Mm-hmm.
So if they only have 3 characters, they can only hold 3 senators.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we played what 15 yesterday. Me and Rob played 15 Gamma Senators,
Yeah.
and it was just a massacre.
So yeah, you could still well laid plans the senators.
Oh God, yeah, I could well put in one of theirs and they'll get real upset.
I think that you're set up good. I like all your extracts. I'm fine with all of them.
Okay.
I think that if you win, so if you lose your secures,
Mm-hmm.
I think you almost always lock in Green Goblin, Doc Ock. I don't know if you always play Spider Foes or MODOK, but I think you lock that in because Well Laid Plans just does very good.
So what is that? That's 11 points, right? Because it's MODOK, Green Goblin, and Doc Ock. It's 11 points.
Yeah, I mean, or you could play 7 and play Spider Foes.
It's true, but I'm just saying if I'm keeping MODOK.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Doc Ock is definitely a tax because you need them for well-laid plans, but I mean, it's almost always good, especially when you get to the point where there's like, so like when you get to the point of there's 4 or more extracts.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you have it's half and half. So you take 2, they take 2. If there's 6, you take 3, they take 3.
Yeah.
Um, it's a way to beat that parity, and also on stuff like hammers. The only problem with hammers, though, is that it costs more if they're the ones holding the hammers, and then they have to play well-laid plans. But like Doc Ock is fantastic with hammers. So like if you happen to like move up, knock somebody's hammers off, pick them up, and then whack them with, it's bonkers.
Yeah.
You roll like 2 wilds, and he's just an animal.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. All right, so fine there. So now we got to redo the whole tactics. So let's start by taking down who we got. So Punisher, we don't need that card because he's out of the list.
Yeah.
So that frees up 1 spot already. So
Yeah,
let's go with what
that's,
we
that's
have.
the well-laid. That's the well-laid plan spot.
All right. Well, let's read what we have left.
Okay.
So all according to plan. Cruelty. Mind games. This is a robbery. Keep your enemies close. Eyes on the prize. Recalibration matrix. Indomitable and sacrifice.
Okay. You really like Indomitable.
Yes.
Like you prefer that over Brace. I think in this list you take Brace.
You think Brace?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that
Plus,
in the last list,
Rhino art card with Brace, so that'll work.
yeah, I think Brace is the right choice here.
Okay. Keep sacrifice, drop Indomitable.
Yeah, sacrifice is fine.
Okay.
I think it's just because you have
Thick boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not even that. They're not heavy. Like, who's the heaviest? Like 3?
Yeah, look at the 3. Yeah, I think they're all 3s. I think that's where we max out.
I don't think you have to worry about being pushed off because you're going to have a lot of movement and like your movement is fine. So I don't think even if you get pushed off, you come back, right? Like you get a bunch of people that have aggressive, right? You have what 3 people that have aggressive? Or
Rhino,
2?
Sabretooth, and I think that's it. Yeah, Rhino and Sabretooth.
Yeah, so you're gonna aggressive back. Seems good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you need to worry too much about that. Kraven's got extra movement. Goblin, gets glider ram and hit and run. Yeah, I think you got more movement now, so I think you're fine there. Yeah.
Now, Eyes on the Prize is basically for Ulik.
Okay.
So that is also very map dependent.
Yeah, I mean, So here's the thing, right? Like Green Goblin gets to like move up and hit somebody. Usually, how far is MODOK's range 4? Also, like you're gonna have a bunch of gunline guys, so like, they're probably gonna wanna eyes on the prize and get away, and if they don't, then you just lay into them. But what I would actually do is when you see the opponent's list, you see if they have eyes on the prize, right? And then you kind of like see what the map layout is, and you figure out if it's like a hammers version.
Yeah.
Like I don't know necessarily if you need to play that safe, but like if there's only like 1 or 2, or it's like a C line, and you can like line up all of your dudes to like then attack. Like maybe you want to pull one back and then like have your dudes move up and shoot. You know what I mean?
True.
Again, eyes on the prize is like you win priority, and the setup is right. Like I don't think it's. I think a lot of people have it in their list. I think it's something that everybody should have in their list. But I don't like. I think it's fine. It's fine.
So it's literally only there just if I get an opportunity to grab a safe fast draft. So I'm not
exactly.
Yeah, I'm not like married to that one. But all right, so we're talking about sinister traps, right? Or well-laid plans. Well-laid plans.
Well, definitely well-laid plans, and sinister traps is a good alternative to if you don't want to be eyes on the prizing, or if you want to mess up their eyes on the prize and then you play your own, right? Because it's like eyes on the prize, like we're talking about, like if you're playing hammers and you both have it, fine. Like you both have a safe turn 1 play.
True.
But if you if you sinister, like if you, so when you, because sinister traps is after you set up, right?
Yeah.
So you get to see where they put their dudes, and if they don't have two models that can reliably do eyes on the prize, so like they don't have somebody that makes 2 energy, or they don't have advanced R&D.
True.
Then you just, okay, he's on the left side. I sinister traps the left one. I put my dude on the right side, and I like, you know what I mean? Just sandbag your placements until you see where they're going to put their eyes on the prize guy, and then you put your guy on the other side, and then hit their thing. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
It telegraphs it a little bit if you end up playing Spider Foes, just because, you know,
and
you have sinister traps in your list. You're gonna hopefully know what that does.
So Sinister or Spider Foes only literally has, I mean, Neogenic Combinator, whatever the hell it is, but they have one card. They have Sinister Traps.
Neogenic Recombulator's garbage.
So
I think it's only good on Venom. Like if you suck up a lot of health and then heal right away. You know what I mean?
So what card would I take out to squeeze Sinister Traps in?
You're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna say Mind
Damn
Games.
it! I knew you were gonna say
that. I mean, it can be Cruelty, right?
No, Cruelty's too good though.
I think Cruelty's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's so because you can't modify dice means that MODOK's leadership doesn't work on it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just gonna do, 5 dice and it's a third attack, so it's like if somebody's on 1 and you need to kill them, that's you don't rely on it. You know what I mean?
That's what Mind Games is for.
Listen, if you want to play Mind Games, play Mind Games. No. I'm fine with Mind Games. I don't even know what it does other than potentially give your opponent VPs.
Well, you know what? I will read Mind Games.
It just scares me.
It is. Alright, so if George Charles is within 2 of an enemy character, you may spend 3 to play this card. Choose an enemy character within 2 of George Charlton. Divide the experiment tokens into 2 piles. Each pile must contain at least 1 experiment token. Flip all experiment tokens to the MODOK side and present both piles to the opposing player. The opposing player must choose one of the 2 piles and reveal all the tokens within it. For each zap, which is a damage, the chosen enemy suffers 1 damage. For each sap, which is a red power icon, the chosen enemy loses 1 power, and George Charlton gains 1 power. If the reward, which is the little flag, is revealed, the opposing player gains 1 VP. If the reward is not revealed, you gain 2 VPs.
Okay, so you're only losing 1. I thought you lost 2.
No.
How many zap and how many saps?
So the way it breaks down, there's 5 tokens total.
Yeah.
There are 1 reward, 2 zaps, 2 saps.
Okay. And if you put the VP in one and all the zaps and saps in the other, let's say, that's best case scenario, right? They choose the big pile.
Yeah.
They would take 2 damage and lose 2 energy. You would gain 2 energy.
Yes, and I would gain 2 VPs.
And you get 2 VPs. Worst case scenario is you just lose 1 VP for 3 energy.
Well, they gain a VP.
You lose. Right.
Yeah.
They gain 1 VP and you lose 3 energy.
No, I don't lose anything. I don't lose anything.
Well, you spend 3 to play it.
Yes. Okay.
So at best, you did 2 damage. You for 1 energy and gain 2 VP.
Mm-hmm.
But that's never going to pan out that way because you're never going to do 4 and 1.
No. Or will I?
I say you probably don't because that's so bad on a lot of different levels.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, just because it would be something I would do, but I have a really bad poker face, and I would just be like, "Oh, here's 4 and 1," and then they'd choose the 1, right? They'd be like, "Okay, cool." Or you just do 4 and 1 literally every time.
True.
and and you mix it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you put it in, sometimes you don't. Maybe that would be the way I'd play it. You'd have to like, you'd literally have to just play that way the whole tournament. Always 4-1
yeah.
every time you play the card.
It's a silly card.
It is definitely a silly card. I think that, more often than not, you're spending 2 energy to deal them a damage, and maybe they get a VP, and maybe you get 2 VP.
I had it in there in the first run of the list where I had Punisher and Killmonger in here, so I could try to usurp the throne, Blood Red and Personal, and Mind Games. Just all the extra VPs.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I think maybe you're right. I think maybe Mind Games does come out.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I think it's
no time for cuteness.
I mean, we're here for like the strats.
Yeah.
I think that if you play Kingpin, there's like a casual list of like Kingpin, Punisher, Killmonger, and MODOK, and you just go to try to like get all the points, right? Yes. Like you just whatever point and play
Spider-Woman to interrogate.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Black
Widow. And you're just trying to go for as many points as you can, extra points as you can.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fun game night thing, and I don't hate the card, right? It just feels like here's the change that would actually benefit. I think it would be in the realm of okay, is that if it didn't cost 3 energy.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to be within 2. That just seems like a weird.
Yeah, because you don't want MODOK that close to people.
No. Now, if he's like within 4 and it costs 0, and then you do this little stupid thing, right? Like, then cool, whatever. If you lose, you lose. It's 1 VP. Hopefully,
Yeah.
Maybe he would gain. Maybe he'd sap, and you'd gain like 2 energy, or like it just feels like it's. It just feels like it's too weak for what you're getting.
True.
Like it's like you're paying too much for it. Like how much 3 energy on MODOK that can do things, right? Yeah, you can throw a size 4 terrain.
You're right. No, you're right.
It's like, do you want to do 5 damage to something, or potentially give your opponent a victory point? Right?
Play a mini game. Yeah. Do you want to interrupt this game of MCP to play Mario Party?
Yeah.
I get it. All right. So I think this is a stronger list now.
And it's a different list.
Yeah, it is.
We didn't
take out too many. To be fair, we took out 1, 2, 3 characters. The only ones we added were Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Kraven.
Yeah. I mean, I made it into a Spider-Foes list.
Well, that's because you're a terrible influence. But no,
I will say the rest of the characters are still good in Spider-Foes as well, right? Like, sure. I wouldn't mind playing Gwenpool, Bullseye, Ulik, or Sabretooth in a Spider-Foes.
Bullseye is usually in my Spider-Foes list anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try this list out on Tuesday. But now I changed the name to go do a sinister crime, you imbeciles. Instead of a shadowy crime.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I think, yes, I'm going to bring both these lists on Tuesday. I don't think we changed anything in Hell A-Force other than Extract. Or a Crisis.
And a Tactics card? Oh, no, I said if you want to drop Sacrifice.
Oh, yeah. But we added Gamma. No. We added Gamma. That's what we added.
Yeah. Sacrifice for patch-up, maybe.
Yeah, Sacrifice for patch-up. So that's something.
Yeah, the rest of it, I like it. Yeah. I think it's fine.
Yeah, this list is. I like this list a lot.
I think your A-Force list is somewhat, like more
tuned,
more grinded in. You know what I mean? Like it's we've like it's been tested.
Yes, this new one.
I don't think it's bad. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I wanted to get MODOK, and I just happened to buy a bunch of other shit, and then I now don't have money for MODOK. Mostly Cosmic Ghost Rider now is my focus, but there was a period of time where MODOK was my focus, and I was doing almost the same list that you have here. Nice. Right? It was. I don't think I had Gwenpool because I don't have Gwenpool, so I didn't put her in there. But it pretty much was a very similar list. I think I did have in Moon Knight because I wanted to try it out.
Yeah.
But I think Gwenpool's better than Moon Knight.
Yes. Wonderful, so fun. All right,
Yeah.
but we are running late, so I
Oh.
think we should probably wrap this up. It's almost 11 o'clock. See, this is what happens when we start podcasting.
I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to get back in the seat.
Yes, absolutely. So wow, we're at an hour 20. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. We are gonna try to be more focused on more content. We're gonna try to do this every other week. I know you're gonna be a little busy. But
yeah, I might be busy, especially next month. But
I'm going to try to do this every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we're going to come back and we're going to reevaluate these lists, whether it's with you or I'll get somebody in here.
Or I might say I'm going to do all this stuff and then I'll show up in 5 months.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see what happens. Either way, I'll be back in 2 weeks.
You definitely will.
With either this Mike or Staten Island Mike or Leo or somebody.
Did you want to mention about the tournaments you're running?
Yes. So we're doing, on the 29th of this month, we have Red Seal. We're doing our monthly there. I am doing another PAX Unplugged LVO points event on December 1st. I'm going to try to up the count to 32 players. Last year, I think we did 16. There is going to be prize support. We're finalizing the details on that. I know one of the feedbacks I got last year was the terrain was a little awkward to play on because it was more made for Warhammer. That should be changing as well.
Cool.
So there is going to be improvements. But yeah, it's going to be probably 4 rounds starting at like 2 o'clock. We're still ironing out everything because everything literally just got started yesterday. And we always do our monthly tournaments at Red Seal. We also play at East Coast Gamers in Toms River. I know there's a bunch of stores in the area that are starting up tournaments. I was supposed to go to one this Saturday, but I have to work, unfortunately. But yeah, the game is popping off hard in our area.
Yeah, it's fun. We have a good group.
Yeah. So, and we have Rob who won ACO this year.
I mean, we have literally everybody but me, I think, has won something.
I haven't won nothing.
Right. I won one of our local tournaments.
Yeah, I think
that was the same day I whooped Rob with dice. That was the tournament?
I came in third at one of our locals when I first started playing Weapon Decks because nobody knew how to deal with them, and then everybody figured out how to deal with them, and it was downhill ever since. So, all right, but I'm Will.
I'm Mike,
and we'll see you next time.
Nice seeing you.